Did he just say that Michael Franzese is going on the Woodscopes? Wood, that is great. That is really funny to me. My man, if I intimidated you, what the hell are you going to do when Michael Franzese calls you? Michael Franzese, and I'll say it again for the record, in my entire career, he is one of the most compelling figures that I have ever spoken to. One of the most compelling figures I've ever had on the radio or on TV. He's been on my TV shows. He's been on this show. He did an amazing podcast. Alvin, do you have any sound at all? I want to give you a preview. Like Woodscopes is dealing with Mike Franzese. This should be really interesting.
Let me tell you,
but hold on. Credit to the Woodscopes that he has delivered and developed a show worthy enough to pull a guest like that on a Friday night. Mike Franzese is a former mob boss. He was one of the highest earning mob bosses in the history of the world. Millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars every single week. Michael Franzese came up with a federal excise tax scam that was unbelievable, that made crazy amounts of money. And he went away. He cut this amazing deal with the feds and was incarcerated for, I think, 7 years and then got out and has kind of remade himself, reconfigured his life. He lives out here on the West Coast. I've never, ever in my life spoken to anybody like him. And the Woodscopes is going to have this guy on. This guy.
Let me tell you, you're in that game. You owe money to a bookmaker. You're going to pay one way or the other. You're going to pay. And I explain that to them. You're not going to get away with it. Let me tell you something. There's no sympathy. We don't care about your career. We don't care if you ever make it to the pros. If you're in the pros, we don't care if you play your next game. You're going to pay one way or the other. And that's it.
He was talking about athletes that the mob would get to and compromise. And if you owed them money, it's EP 14 on the Jim Rome podcast. It's one of my favorites. You want to go find that if you want to get ready for the Woodscopes tonight. He was talking about that when we get to guys and they owe us money, we don't care who you are. We don't want a picture with you. We don't want your autograph. We're not into your celebrity. This is business, and you will pay us. You will pay us, or something's going to happen to you. And he said that not as a way to kind of puff up or any kind of bravado. He's just very matter of fact. Very matter of fact. So that's an amazing get. I'll tell you what, Wood, other than me, that might be my favorite guest of yours ever. Michael Franzese. How did you ever pull that off? But then again, you know what Woodscopes is good at? He probably just shows the guest list. He's had a lot of good people on that program. And when we talk about the Woodscopes, what the Woodscopes is, it's a show about the show. Twelvewood does a show about this show every Friday night or every other Friday night, and he gets people who have a connection to this show, including Michael Franzese. Good for you. Don't jack that up, bro. If I were you, I'd have that brown paper bag close by. You're going to need to breathe into it. Michael Franzese ain't playing.